Hello, everyone. Welcome to Empower Your Soul. I am here with like a late night edition. This is Monday night. I thought I had all the time in the world today to record a few podcast episodes for this week, but I am so backed up. But I wanted to release it because it's such a wonderful, amazing day. Mainly because, number one, it is the end of eclipse season. Oh, praise the Lord, because those last 2 weeks have felt like 2 years, 2 decades. Like it has been brutal. This energetic clearing that has happened with the last two eclipses in September. And also, while I'm recording this today, it is the autumn equinox, everybody. Happy fall. It's my favorite season. I love, love, love fall. I was born in the fall. I got married in the fall. I had my first kid in the fall. I'm obsessed with everything fall. No surprise, probably, to all of you, because I live in New England and you couldn't, thank you, Spirit, pry me from the Northeast unless that I left with my cold, dead hands, because the leaves, the changing of the leaves, the smell of rotting leaves. I know that's weird. The crispy, crunchy, rotting leaf smell. Like, oh, it's the best. It's the best. So I'm so excited for my favorite season to come. But what happens with fall is this is, the shoulder season, the transition season that brings us from lovely, glorious summer, if you like summer, to the hermit introspection season of winter. And so this amazing fall season is all about shedding skin, right? Shedding things that don't serve us. Are we sick of that yet? I'm a little sick of that yet. But just like the leaves on the trees, right? We need to start focusing on what we need for the coming months, focusing on our own energy, our own needs, desires, wants, right? And removing the things that are no longer aligned to us. And this naturally happens as the days start getting shorter, as the veil starts getting thinner, as we get closer to Halloween. And so this is such a lovely time to, just do a stock on what's important to us, our perspectives, what's working, what's not working, and use this time to just gracefully release and let go what doesn't serve us. For the 75th time this year, everybody. I'm so sorry about that. So I thought it might be really cool this episode to talk about what I wish I knew then. And I was originally thinking about this episode, or this idea of what I wish I knew then, from more of a mediumship perspective or spirit guide perspective. But I think I'm going to bring this perspective higher than that and talk more about my spiritual journey. What I wish I knew when I started this journey many years ago, very innocently, very naively, and maybe some of the stories that go on with it. So happy solstice. Here is what I wish I knew when I started my spiritual discovery journey. And I wrote a list. I don't know if Spirit's going to keep me in order. Okay, they're going to have me start with 3. I'm going to have to check these off my list. This is what it's like going to the Akashic Records. You have a list of questions. And then they're like, we're going to go to 3, and then 5, and then 7, and then back to 2, and then 1, and then 9. So I'm just going to let Spirit lead the way through this. So the first one they want me to cover is that you need to find your own way with this work. So as we start this metaphysical journey, this spiritual journey, a lot of us go through this phase of what I call, what do I call it, team? Don't mind me, it's been a very long day. It's essentially just diving in headfirst into every single modality. It's like the spiritual binge process where you are uncovering, thank you, all of the modalities, buying tarot cards, buying pendulums, buying these things, reading books, right? I think in the first year that I did this work, I wanted to learn how to do everything. And I felt like everybody else was the expert. And I was just this little tiny grasshopper asking all the senseis to teach me, taking all the classes, reading all the books. And over time, I've learned that this relates to another one coming up, but everyone has their own journey with this. Everybody has their own truth with this. Everybody has their own process, their things that work. And so part of this journey, what I wish I knew then, was that there is no one right way to do any of this work. The right way to do this work is the way that resonates best for you, and that everybody has to find their own modality that they want to work with, their own version of that modality, has to learn how their energy reads other energy, right? And so it's okay to learn from somebody, but don't let it be your playbook, your black and white, your step-by-step process, because you have to take what you're learning from people and you have to apply it in the way that resonates for you. So it's a-okay to throw out the things that don't align to you, that don't make sense to you. You don't have to stick with it because your teacher told you it had to be a certain way. And you're going to know in your gut when you start taking these classes, when you start doing these things, that doesn't sound right to me. That's not aligned. I remember my first teacher telling me, this one's a doozy, if the spirits don't give you exactly what you want in the exact order that you want, you kick them out and you never let them back in. And immediately, in like my third class with her telling me this, I was like, this isn't right. That's not how I'm going to have this conversation with spirit, because that's not respecting them. And that's my ego wanting it to be my way and only my way. And if they don't play along, then I kick them out. Like, that doesn't seem nice. So right off the bat, I'm just going to say, you need to find your own way with this work. There is no defined path. There is no set rules. There is no set process, and that's okay. And I think when you're starting this journey, that feels very daunting. It feels like there should be a right way because we come from systems that have guides and playbooks and rules and processes. And the earlier you learn that none of that exists in the metaphysical world, the better off you're going to be. Throw those playbooks out. Throw the rules out. This is the wild, wild west. And I know our brains can be very afraid of that, but this is actually such a fun space where you get to experiment and learn and lean into your intuition and do it your own way. So I'm going to encourage you to do it that way. Do it your way. I feel like that's a brand slogan. Oh no, it's have it your way at BK, right? Burger King, everybody. Makes sense. My son was singing all the slogans the other day. All right, 4, they said. Similarly, with that, I'm going to tell you number 4 for me, number 2 for you, is that all paths lead to the same places. This is a gross generalization, so you can easily poke holes in what I'm about to say. But for the most part, all of the information in the spirit world tends to be accessible by all of the different modalities. So when we're talking, for example, about healing, I know there's Reiki, I know there's IET, I know there's shamanic practices, I know there's Akashic Records healings, right, that you can do. And a lot of the information that you're going to get or receive in these readings, regardless of the modality, tends to be a lot of the same stuff. They just have different systems, different tools, different methodologies that all access the same core information about you, your energetic health, your soul's history, right? And so it's really interesting to me how we want to go out and take all of the healing classes. We want to take all of the spirit communication classes, right? And I'm the one who's teaching spirit communication. So again, you can poke holes at this, but a lot of those tools will get you to the same core information on the spirit side, on the energy side. And so this is why it's so important to, again, find your own path with this, because you need to learn the modalities that resonate best with you, knowing that you're not going to miss anything, because the key is not the information that you access. The key is finding the modality that matches best with your energy. And as long as it is the best energetic match for you, you're going to be able to tap in to the information that you are supposed to receive. So case in point, let's take past lives. Everyone loves to talk about past lives, right? When I'm talking about past lives, do you know how many ways we can access past lives? Do you even know? Like, besides the fact that you can pull tarot cards to ask about your past lives, right? You can go get a past life regression, right, from a certified hypnotist. You can go get QHHT, which is a different version of a past life regression, right, by sometimes not a certified hypnotist. You can go to a mediumship reading and you can ask your departed loved ones, ding, what's a past life that I had with you? You can go to spirit guides and ask them, what's a past life where this happened? Tell me about it. You can go into the Akashic records. You can go into the galactic Akashic records, and uncover what was the past life that this happened. And this is what I mean by all modalities lead to the same information. And so you're not going to miss anything by picking a modality that you resonate with best, because that's going to be actually your best way, your biggest door, the easiest way for you to access the information, because it's in the most alignment with your energy. Now, asterisks. Are there certain modalities, thank you, Spirit, that work better with information? Yes. Past life information, I generally recommend if you can do... let me say it this way. If you do have clairs that you can rely on, if you are tapped in and you want to see it for yourself, like QHHT and past life regression are fucking cool, because then you can go and see and experience the past lives yourself. If you don't have that ability, then I recommend an Akashic Records reading, because that's going to give you the most clear, energetic access to that information personally. And this is my experience. Maybe some of you say, I get the same information or better from my spirit guides. It's freaking fantastic. I love that. So again, your job is to just see what works best with you, and know that anything that you're looking for is going to be accessible from your modality. Even if it's not at the same level, I don't know, you're not going to get all of the information from tarot cards, but it's still going to be able to get you to the same information. And this is something that I've been brewing in my head for a long time. 5, they said. Okay. Along with that, what you may find, this is going to be number 3 for all of you. When you start accessing past lives, newsflash, you die in every single one of them, right? It can be a very, very traumatic experience hearing about past lives where you were murdered, where you had been sexually assaulted, when you killed somebody, maybe when you died of the plague, right? Oh, look at that, I died of the plague. And so sometimes going into these past lives, sometimes going into your family lineage can fucking hurt. It is painful to hear these stories, to process these stories, to have this thought process of, oh my God, my soul went through that. Oh my God, I lived through all that stuff. And it's very easy to go down this rabbit hole of pain and suffering and almost bring that back into this current life by living it again, experiencing it again, learning from it again. And I think a lot of people have this perspective that if I want to heal, I have to go directly to the source and I have to see it head on, and I need to access this information, right? Because if I want to heal something, I can't fix it. I can't heal it until I know what it is and I experience it. And this is I'm so sorry for my male listeners, and a male-centered way of healing is that must find problem, right? I'm just like caveman mode here. Must find problem. Must go hunt. Must find problem to fix, right? And this idea that healing has to relate to uncovering absolutely everything and seeing everything from every angle. And by the way, this is in several of my Akashic Records books on how to heal energy, is to go in, view that past life from every fucking angle. So not just once, you have to experience it from everybody's angle, and then being able to access it gives you the transparency and that understanding, and that accessing that understanding heals it. Yeah, that works when it's a past life that doesn't fucking terrify you. But if it's a past life that fucking terrifies you, that's going to do more damage than good. And so the number one thing that I've learned with my team is that healing does not have to be hard. It does not have to hurt. And I think when we release the chains of the ego and feeling like you have to solve it by living through it again and experiencing it again and understanding it again. And sometimes you can just be like, I don't need to look at it. Can you just heal it for me? Can you just heal my fucking toxic family lineage? Can you just heal my addiction to alcohol? Can you just heal these things that I don't want anymore? And Spirit will do it. Right? That blows my mind. That blows my clients' mind. We don't have to do all this hard work. We don't have to make it hard. We can heal without having to see or experience it. Yeah. Doesn't this go against therapists, everybody? We don't have to talk it through if you don't want to talk it through. And so healing does not need to hurt. And I think that is the biggest lesson that I've learned, I have to say on this list, that is the lesson I'm processing right now and I'm going through right now, that healing does not need to hurt. I do not need to feel pain in order to heal that pain. We can heal quietly. We can heal gently. We can heal kindly with love. It doesn't always have to be a giant clash or collision or fight of the ego. Sometimes we can just choose love and let it go. Okay, moving on. Hang on, Spirit's still talking to me. What did I miss, Spirit? Nothing, move on. Okay. 2. Okay. Okay, got it. It's really funny because there's like 3 of them that go together. So I think I'm going to take these 3 that are next and kind of smush them into one. Sorry, I thought there was going to be 10. We're going to smush these things together. So what comes after healing, after you've done the work, after maybe you've looked at it, maybe you've healed it on your own without having to have it hurt, which is freaking fantastic if you do that. What comes after healing is immense joy, unstoppable and unconditional love, and a sense of peace I could never even describe to you what that feels like. The biggest thing, or the best way I can explain it, is you have energetic armor that's like Teflon, and everything just rolls off of you without you needing to react to it, without you having your ego pop up, and without you feeling like you need to control or get the better of somebody because they've wronged you. And I think this is such a wild feeling that I've really come into this year, is not being bothered by the lessons that come my way, and instead being able to pause in the moment, reflect on, I wonder why this is coming my way, and asking, what can I learn from it? And just being able to take out my human brain, my ego-centered brain, and really think about things that come my way that I don't like, that I don't expect, that catch me off guard, that can be perceived as a really big negative experience. I literally am saying, okay, my soul planned this. What's the lesson here? What am I here to learn? Awesome. What am I going to fix today? Like, what problems do I have that I need to fix? What's the journey? What's the perspective? And so I never take anything that happens to me, I'm going to talk about this in a second, so pause for a second, as an ego hit. I always take it as my soul is giving me another lesson. My guides are giving me another lesson so I can get closer and closer and closer to my goals for this lifetime. So I say, thank you. Can I have another? But I will say that even though what comes after healing is this energetic Teflon, the ego is still there. And that's part of, this is like, what is this, number 4B? Because we're human and we can never actually get rid of our egos, unfortunately. But being able to recognize and separate out me and my soul's lessons from my ego-centered response, my human response, which is just my nervous system that wants to keep me safe and protected and away from harm, is being able to be like, whoa, okay, I can feel that coming in. Thank you for trying to keep me safe, ego, caveman brain. I'm going to put you to the side and I'm going to continue forward with my lesson. So although there is this sense of energetic armor, there is this underlying ego that never does go away. But again, this is part of your nervous system response to keep you safe. This is part of the human evolution that we cannot, unfortunately, turn off. But it's so lovely to be able to keep that in check and not let my ego, caveman brain, rule the decisions, rule my life based on fear. And instead, I get to turn that off when it comes on, and I get to choose my soul's lessons of love and learning instead. And again, I cannot even tell you what that feels like, because here's an example from just this weekend alone. I'm going to try not to spout on and on like I normally do, but essentially I was coaching my son's soccer game. Yes, I'm coaching again this season, but I'm like Ted Lasso. I don't really know the sport very much. I just mainly show up to corral the 11 and 12-year-old boys, provide water and snacks, and be their like emotional crutch and send the subs in. That's my job. Okay. My head coach is fucking amazing. She's played soccer for a very, very long time. She runs the drills. She runs the practices. She's really the head coach. And I'm just there to like be her bitch and take her orders. As I was telling my weather vane, which is like, I'm not really a soccer coach. I just play one on TV. That's literally what I do. So this weekend, my head coach was away for a game and both of our goalies for the season were out. So it was little old me, ding, with missing a key player on our team, and coaching 11 boys this weekend at a soccer game. And I was freaking out. And then Spirit came in to remind me, this is just a game. This is just one moment. Can you make it a fun day? Can you change your perspective and not be stressed and make this a fun experience? Because the goal is not that they win. The goal is that they have fun. So I calmed my ego. I went to this game and I coached it the best I could possibly coach. I put my poor son in goal the whole game. He did not like it, but I had no one else. And I was like, you're my son, go and goal. And even though I was floundering a little bit, right? I was just there to have fun. The kids had fun. I had them subbing out. They knew their positions. They played really well. They hustled hard. There wasn't a lot of coaching that needed to be done, which was fucking incredible. And meanwhile, the coach on the other bench, the team we were playing, had 3 coaches, a field full of kids, so it's 9 on the field, and then he probably had 6 on the bench, 6 other kids on the bench. That coach was screaming at their kids. He was screaming at them. He was telling them when they were playing wrong. He was telling them, like, everything out of this coach was very loud, very negative, very emotionally like, ugh. And even to the point where he was yelling at the kids who were not playing, who were waiting to be subbed in. He was yelling at them all to sit on the bench. Can you tell a bunch of 12-year-olds to sit on the bench for an hour and a half? Needless to say, I was kind of laughing in my head a little bit about how this coach is the total opposite of me. Like, total opposite of me. Wanting to make sure he's winning, want to make sure that he's controlling the team, literally controlling the players who aren't even playing the game, and yelling and being negative. And there I am, just like my little self over there on the side being like, good job, guys. Kick that ball, pass it. Hey, you ready to step out? Come on out. Go grab a sip of water. When you're ready to come in, come up and say hi to me and we'll get you back in. Like, this was literally how I coach. And so I'm cracking up at this because who do you think won the game? We did. We won 3-0. We shut out the other team with a goalie, my son, who's never really played goalie in his life before. We shut them out. And not only that, but in the middle of the game, I'm complimenting the team. I'm like, you guys are doing so good. You're doing so great. You're staying in your positions. You're hustling hard. You're passing. You guys are really like putting the pressure on. Great job. Great job. And then one of the kids on the team, I love him. He's such a cute little guy. He's like, well, it's because you're such a great coach. We love you as a coach. Dude, can you even? So that is the sense of peace that I want to talk about, is because when I just let go of control and I trust that Spirit has it and I'm just here for the ride, it takes all of the pressure off, and you just enjoy it. You get to sit back and enjoy it instead of trying to control everything. And that is the sense of peace that I'm talking about, even when you're coaching 11, 12-year-olds. Anyway. Moving along with the next one is that there are, in fact, egos everywhere in the spiritual space. And I don't think when I started my journey, I knew how many egos there are, because you think if these people are metaphysical, oh, they must be so enlightened, right? You think, oh my gosh, these people, oh, wow. Oh, they can connect to spirits. They can connect to the dead. They can connect to the Akashic records. Wow, they must be gifted. I want to be more like them, right? They heal people. Oh my God, that's so selfless. But the reality is, this is the fucking worst place for spiritual egos. And this is definitely my trauma I need to get over, but I don't trust a lot of the teachers out there. I don't trust a lot of the metaphysical practitioners out there. I think that they start for the right reason. I'm going to get there for a second, but I think a lot of them get really lost on the way about being gifted, right? Of feeling gifted, of feeling better than everyone else, of having special abilities that other people don't have. And I think that goes to a lot of people's heads. And so there's this really big red flag. I wish I knew when I started this journey of who to watch out for. And thank God I started my career working with like salespeople, because I can spot them a mile away. Thank God I have the family that I have, and I can spot manipulative, narcissistic behavior, no fucking problem. And if I didn't know that, if I didn't come from these backgrounds, I would have no fucking clue. And I would probably be following some of the most toxic leaders out there that exist. And so some of the red flags, and I've talked about this in other podcast episodes, but like if they tell you they're going to teach you something and they don't, and you have to sign on for the next class, like red flag, run, right? If they don't teach you things because you're not ready for it yet, red flag, run, right? If they're telling you can't do something, red flag, run, right? Like, and because no one can tell you what your journey is but you and your team. No one can tell you whether what you're doing is right or wrong, or high integrity or not. That's up to you and your team, right? And just because you are into this work and you can access spirit guides and you can access departed loved ones and the Akashic records does not mean that you're from the highest and best integrity. And it doesn't mean that you're not doing that for your clients. And so just like everybody else, working in the spiritual metaphysical space doesn't take away the fact that there's going to be assholes in this work. And in fact, they're going to be overrun by assholes, because this is such an easy space for them to run to and feel gifted and feel better than and feel respected without actually having to show or prove anything, period. And so I would watch out for the egos that exist. And if somebody just rubs you the wrong way, even if you have no reason for it, even if you just like their energy's off, they feel weird, they said this one thing, it really rubbed me the wrong way, then that's your sign to go find somebody else, period. Like you don't need a legitimate, proven reason that you don't want to be best friends or follow or take these classes from people. Sometimes you can be like, no, I'm good. I just think the vibe is off and I'm going to go, and that's okay. So be aware of all the egos that exist in this metaphysical space. And then along with that is the fact that I don't even know what number I'm on anymore, that we can kind of all experience different realities in this work. This one's deep. I hope you don't mind me going deep for a second. And my truth is going to be different than your truth. And these ego-centered spiritual people, they have their own truth as well. And so it's a-okay if what somebody believes and thinks is part of their truth, and that is part of their aligned energy. And you can feel the vibration in their energy to say what they're saying is absolutely authentic and true to their experience. And it can be totally different than your experience. So a really good example is this idea of demons. Okay, let me just put this out here for a second, because I know people directly in my life that have had experience with I'm gonna use air quotes, demons, right? They've had experience with low vibration entities that have pulled their hair in the shower, that have covered their house in bees, right? And these are people that I 100% trust and believe. And I knew, because I was around them and I could feel some of that lower vibration energy, which was not very pleasant. Okay. So I've been in that situation where I've felt it before. So do I think that these low vibration, quote unquote, demons or entities exist? Yes, I do. But also from my reality, I've never experienced it. I've never experienced it. And I don't know what or why or how, but I have always maintained the fact that they don't mess with me. They're not allowed to mess with me, right? And so when people come at me saying, well, I see shadow people, they're demons, I'm being followed, and even, my religious fanatic family are worried about like me going to hell and me having demons, and like that can absolutely be their truth that they believe that, but in my experience it's never happened. Do I think it's real? Yes, but also my reality says that if I don't give them the energy, if I'm not fear based with them, then they don't bother me. And that's my truth. And your reality and truth might be very, very different than my reality and truth. And it doesn't mean either of us are wrong. It just means that our realities are different. So when you're watching all these spiritual people on social media or reading their books or watching their shows, there can be such, I'm going to say, of this mind fuck of like being able to read them, being able to feel their energy, being able to feel that they're authentic and what they're saying is true, and the fact that they believe it. And you can feel right into that vibration of truth, but at the same time feel so wholly disconnected to that truth and out of alignment with their truth. And that can be really, really difficult to reconcile. And this is, again, going back to, I think the first one that I went to is like, you need to find your own way with this because your truth is going to be different than other people's truths. And that's okay. And so again, stay in your lane. As they used to say at one of my old corporate jobs, be like the horses in Central Park, like put the blinders on, don't look left or right, follow your own path, follow your own truth. It won't lead you wrong, period. Okay. And the last three that I'm going to do also kind of come together in a package deal. So the first one is that I've said it before and I'll say it again. A lot of people think that this spiritual journey is being of service to others, to helping humanity, to being selfless, and just being there to help heal and protect the people who need it. But the reality of the spiritual journey is that it's exactly the opposite, because you need to do the inner work to provide the highest integrity, healing, helping, protecting of your clients. Because if you don't do the inner work, then you're coming at things from a biased and a low vibration perspective, and that's going to do more harm than good. And so that's why it's so important that people who come into this space realize that the journey of spirit is actually the journey inward and the journey of healing, and removing chains and behaviors and patterns that no longer serve you, that have been placed on you by society, by your family, by your departed loved ones, by your ancestors, right? And removing these chains one-on-one of these things that are no longer aligned to you, that had never been aligned to you, but they were placed on you. And really coming back into your whole self, your whole healed self. And again, creating that spiritual, energetic Teflon in your body that allows you to just show up as you and walk your journey and achieve your soul's purpose. But a lot of people don't realize that in order to walk the path, I cannot tell you how many people come to me and they're like, I want to know my soul's purpose. And I was like, well, we got to work on your healing. We got to work on releasing those chains before we can really help you down the path of your soul's journey. And it's not everybody. A lot of people do the work. But there is this sense of undoing before the becoming. 2025 is definitely the year of the undoing. So I really, really want you people to know, I wish I knew that this is a journey inward before it becomes a journey outward to help and heal other people. And that is going to be a lifelong journey, unfortunately, because we'll just continue to make mistakes and have to heal those too. And then the last two really do go hand in hand. And this is something that is definitely true, more of a revelation for me this year. at this moment now more than ever, because I think that as I've really done a lot of the heavy lifting, the heavy removal, again, of past life, family lineage, ancestral trauma chains this year alone, what I'm realizing is the more I heal, back to the previous one, the more that I learn to trust my intuition and trust spirit, because they're giving me the opportunities to heal. They're giving me the opportunities to learn my lessons. They're giving me the opportunities to release what no longer serves me. And every time they show up for me with another lesson, another healing, another opportunity for me to get closer to my fully aligned self, I realize that spirit truly is here to support my journey, to support me becoming my highest and best incarnation in this lifetime. And with that comes this 100% trust and belief and understanding that my spirit team truly is here to give me what I envision to be my best life or better, and that I can 100% trust them in whatever they throw my way, good or bad, whether I expect it or not expect it, where I'm thankful for the lesson or not thankful for the lesson. They are all things that are helping me evolve exactly the way my soul has planned in this lifetime. And so I am just learning to surrender and surrender and surrender and truly trust them, that they are leading the way towards my highest and best, most aligned life. And I think that for some of us, that can be really hard to trust someone we can't see, someone we can't always hear. Maybe you can't hear them. Trust somebody that, why on earth would I trust? I can't even trust my family. How can I trust somebody I can't even see, right? That I don't even know. And so that lesson of trust with your guides is what's going to help you move from a good life to a great life. And if you don't like the word guide, you can use your higher self, whoever it is that is guiding you on this earthly incarnation, whether that's your higher self or honestly your intuition too, because it can be your intuition leading you down these shadows, down these footsteps, down these paths that maybe you're uncomfortable with, but trusting that they're going to lead you to a beautiful paradise that's going to be exactly what you envisioned or better. And similarly, a lot of us in this, us, myself included, which is why I use the word us, worry, am I going down the wrong path? Am I making the wrong choice? Am I going or making a decision for something that isn't for my highest and best good? And what is so interesting to me that comes with that trust is knowing that our journeys are perfect. They're perfect. Even with free will and making bad choices, our journeys are perfect because we are meant to go off the path. We are meant to learn additional lessons. And so, again, I trust that every step I take is exactly the step I'm supposed to take. And when you start thinking about it that way, that no matter what, even if I took this one misstep, my team is going to get me back on my path. My team is going to help me fix that, learn my lesson, and get me back to where I need to go. You start realizing there are no mistakes. You start releasing the pressure of making decisions because you know that no matter what decision you make, you're going to end up on your highest and best path. You're going to get there eventually. There might be a little bit slower. There might be a detour, but you're going to get there eventually. And when you stop worrying so much about, is this the right step? Is this the right time? Is this the right thing that I'm supposed to do? Spirit will always have a backup plan to make sure that you stay in alignment. And it's fucking awesome. It's fucking awesome. And then along with that, the last one I want to cover here today is the more that you trust in the magic of spirit, the more that you're going to see that magic shows up every single day in your life. I can't even tell you how much now I see from spirit dropping me signs, synchronicities, like knowledge bombs. Like it's to the point where it's almost comical. Like I want to really have an intuitive journal that I carry with me, and so much so that I've made it electronic on my iPad. if I actually wrote down all of my signs and synchronicities and angel numbers and things that I see on a daily basis, like I couldn't even, I, I would be running out of space on my notebooks, on my digital notebooks, right? Because it's all day, every day. And I know that sounds crazy, but those of you who know, you know. Like, even to the point where I was driving my son to soccer practice today and he wanted to listen to Billy Joel. Like Billy Joel. Oh, okay, cool. My son barely knows who he is. He just heard the song Piano Man last week and loved it. So now he's been asking for me to play Billy Joel. And I was like, oh, wait, there's one song. There's one song from Billy Joel I remember I used to love. So I start searching for it. And I know all of them. Like, I love Vienna, and I can't remember all the names of all the songs, but like I'm listening to a few of them and I'm like, no, I got like 5 minutes left until we get to practice. I'm going to fast forward till I find that song that I love and I can't remember what it was. And we get to it. I'm like, oh, it's this one. And it was Moving Out. And that whole song is about how this guy decides, God, I feel like I'm explaining that. I feel like I'm mansplaining this to you. But this guy says, you know, if that's moving up, then I'm moving out. So he talks about like living the dream. Like who needs a house down in Hackensack, right? Like living the dream. Like all these people have these ideas of the dreams. And if that is the ideas of people's dreams, if that's moving up, then he's going to move out. He wants to move out to the country, right? I loved this song as a little girl. Loved it. I would play it on repeat. And now, 20, 30 years later, many, many years later, listening to that song again from my eyes and my perspective now, it's just so funny, right? And this is part of the magic that I'm talking about is this whole song describes my life. This whole song describes how I will never align to what society deems as success, right? I don't buy into society's vision of success, of money, of big houses, of all these things, right? Moving to the city, right? I dream of a quiet life. I dream of living for me. I dream of moving out to the country. I literally live in the country, right? I dream of being free and letting life lead me instead of letting other people tell me what's good or bad. And so like listening to this song, are you going to go listen to it after this? I hope you do. Listening back, it's not a great song. I don't know. But as a young girl, I knew that's what I wanted. That's who I have to be. Like even to, it's going to sound crazy, the sound of the motorcycle at the end. My uncle that comes through in all of my readings ever owned a Harley repair shop. Like he comes through all the time. Every time I hear a motorcycle, I think of him. And so it's amazing how your team, your higher self, whoever this is, drops you hints every fucking step of the way about who you are, where you're supposed to be, what you're doing, right? And they're always giving you these tidbits of you're doing a great job, keep going. This is exactly where you need to be. This is exactly the decision that you need to make, right? And they're always guiding and blessing your journey and letting you know you're exactly where you need to be right now. And so when I say the magic is all around you, the magic is all around you. And sometimes in the moment, you don't recognize it. And when you look back or when you have these moments of clarity, like I did today, listening to that song, you're like, holy shit, this whole fucking thing was planned out since day one. When I realized the fact that I couldn't see spirit for most of my life, and now it's literally what I live for. It doesn't surprise me that I wanted to be an altar girl growing up because I always wanted that close spiritual connection. I just hadn't found the right outlet. I hadn't found my path with it. But you can see in the themes throughout my life how I've been looking for my path. I've been looking exactly for what I'm looking for now. I just didn't find the right outlet for it. I didn't find the right home. It wasn't my time yet, but my soul knew exactly where it needed to go. And so follow the magic. Trust the fucking magic, because we are not here to have horrible lives. We are not here to be miserable. We are here to learn lessons. Yes. We are here to progress our soul. Yes, absolutely. Sometimes that can be a little hard. Sometimes that's daunting. Sometimes that's challenging. But at the same time, we are here in the physical world, and we also are supposed to have fun while we're here. We're supposed to and be enjoying our journey while we're here. And the magic reminds you that we are living in the matrix, that nothing is real, and that someday, very soon or very distant, either way, our soul sees this as a blip. This will all be over. And we'll literally sit there in heaven like a meme and be like, why so serious? So I'm going to challenge you. Stop being so serious. Let the magic in, because it's fucking amazing. This life is fucking amazing. And so that rounds out probably one of my longest episodes on what I wish I knew when I started this metaphysical journey. And how I would not change a thing about my path and my journey. I would not change one thing. And I'm going to encourage you to really reflect on, if you're in your spiritual journey, what are you so appreciative of now? What do you see that you've learned, you've overcome? What are you proud of yourself of? Like, what have you released control of? Where have you evolved in a way with this work that you would have never evolved if you were never given the opportunity to work in this modality? That's what I'm talking about. That is the magic of spirit. Oh, thank you so much, everybody. This was a really fun episode. I'm going to keep doing these look backs, these lessons, because I think they're so important. And probably in another few years, I'll do another one of what I wish I knew when I created this episode. I digress. Look for the magic, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care.